Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about control and uncertainty in eating disorders. I have had an eating disorders for 7 years, and I've been I keep saying discovered. I have recovered. I'm grateful that I can say that I have recovered from my eating disorder, though I do have the opinion that you can not objectively measure and pinpoint the moment that someone is actually fully recovered from an eating disorder. However, I think I have gained enough self-consciousness to be able to reflect on myself and understand and see and recognize the thoughts, unconscious and conscious thoughts and behaviors that I do myself, and that I have gained in that way certain control over my own thoughts and behaviors, that I, to such an extent that I can prevent myself from relapsing. And it is very interesting and very paradoxically even that I say that I have gained control, because that is what I want to talk about in this video. A big part of my eating disorder, a big underlying theme of my eating disorder was search of control or lack of control, or the need or want to be in control of everything. And basically the reason for that was that I felt very much out of control of my own life. And that was because at the beginning of my eating disorder, or actually in very much in the beginning of my eating disorder, and I'm very certain that a lot of you will experience the same sort of thing, that a lot of people around you, when they think or start thinking or have heard of a professional that you are diagnosed with an eating disorder, they will start seeing you in a different light, in a light that says, oh, this person has an eating disorder, this person is anorexic, or whatever other thing there might be. For me personally, it was people started seeing me as the anorexic girl. And because there are so many stereotypes going around in the world about what it is like to have an eating disorder, or what the reasons are for an eating disorder, or what the behaviors are of people with an eating disorder, especially like the binge eating. And for every eating disorder there is a certain stereotype that governs people's opinions and thoughts surrounding the eating disorder. So as soon as people start thinking or think to know that you are a person with an eating disorder, they will start treating you differently depending on their vision or opinions or knowledge about this subject. And this means that most of the time people will start mistrusting you, and they will have this identity about you, this false narrative surrounding you. And there can be truths in it, obviously, because yes, there is a truth behind a stereotype that we do not eat or whatever. To a certain extent that is true. Or people that binge eat a lot. Yes, to a certain extent that is true, obviously. But it's not who we are, and it is not always exactly the truth. And especially those detailed like things within the story that people do not see or do not acknowledge, that are so important to us, because right now the fact that other people do not see us the way that we see us, or the way they used to see us even, that creates this discrepancy between our reality and other people, their reality. And the other people, especially your loved ones around you and the so-called professionals, will have this kind of air around them that they do not trust you anymore. For example, if you have been diagnosed with anorexia, for me it was the case that my dietitian said that I had anorexia, and my parents somehow believed that. I will upload a video about my story, so it will be more detailed in there, but for now it's just only it's sufficient to know that they diagnosed me with, well, somehow diagnosed me. There was not even a diagnose, because there was no reason for it, but that's another story. So for me, because I did not see the reason for it to be anorexia, I did not want to lose weight, I did not eat food, I was not thinking about, I was not having a problem with my body or whatever. And those are like the stereotypical things that people have, the image of someone with anorexia. Like, they want to lose weight, they do not eat, they are focused on numbers on a scale and stuff. And yes, for some people it is true, obviously, and it can be true for you too, and it cannot be true in different, like, there are different severities. So it's like there's a scale, you know, there's a range in how much something occurs, or how much someone experiences that same thing. That just differs it varies from person to person. But this image will turn the other people against you. They will start losing trust in you because they do not believe what you say. That's also kind of part of the stereotypes of people with an eating disorder, that they will always tell lies and they will be like very sneaky around people. And sure, there are parts, sometimes we do lie, obviously, but it's only because we know that you do not trust us and we cannot trust you. And why would we tell something that you will not like to hear? You know, obviously we're not going to do that. But nevertheless, if the parent, for example, thinks that, oh, my child, I cannot trust my child anymore, I have to do something, I have to exert a certain control over my child because I can see the behavior, or I think to know that this behavior that this person is doing is not good, and so the parent will not trust the child anymore. Well, what do you think the child will feel like? Do you think the child will trust their parent if they do not trust them? Like, it is all about trust. A parent-child relation it's very important that there is a foundation of trust between the child and the parent, because the parent is ultimately the protector, the guardian of the child. And a home should be a safe place to express oneself, and a child will expect some support from their parents, right? So if you come home and you tell your parents that, well, my dietitian said I have anorexia, but I do not understand why, because I have no idea what she's talking about, and your parent does not trust you, then, well, there is a breach of trust there. Or when your parents start acting in that way, like according to their vision of what is an anorexic person, for example, they will start controlling your food intake. Or when you're at dinner table and you're like putting the food on your plate, and your father or mother is like, yeah, you should eat an extra potato, so they will put some more food on your plate, and they're like, you are not going to leave this table until you've finished your plate, without me wanting to do that. Well, what happens here is that, first of all, the parent is showing the child that it does not trust the child, when the child says, no, I put this much on my plate because I needed this, and the parent is like, yeah, I do not trust that is enough for you, and I put some more. So there is no trust between the parent and the child, but there's also a loss of control for the child, because the child is no longer in control. Ultimately, even though it might seem very dull, small, trivial decision, like how much you eat, and yes, children usually get the amount of food from their parents because the parents know best, which I doubt. Sorry. We give too little credit to the client, the person with the problem. We give too little credit to them, and this another example is another way that trust and control are being broken by the loved ones is, for example, that the parent will start checking the room of the child more often. Like when the child are gone, they will go into a room and go look for food. Maybe if you have, for example, binge eating disorder or bulimia, what is that called? Bulimia. Or if you have some sort of eating disorder where you eat more food than people want you to eat, they will maybe start looking in your room for snacks or like secret stashes or midnight snack depot or whatever. Or even if you have if they think you have anorexia, they will start looking for food that you have sneaked away so that you did not have to eat it. Or maybe they will start looking for pills or things that make you like throw up or lose the excrements in your body faster. All those supplements that people can use to mechanically lower their body weight. That is also a breach of trust, because you do not trust. Well, why would you look into someone's room if you do trust them, right? Why do you look at someone's phone if you do trust them? You don't trust them, that's why you look in their phone, that's why you break into their room. Or your friends might even start mistrusting you, and they will focus a lot on you during lunch break, for example. Like, they will make comments about your food, like, why do you eat so much, or why do you eat so less, or you should eat more. Or there's always a lot of people that will have their opinion on you, not only if you have an eating disorder, and but it will be more frequent, I would say, that, for example, for me, I was anorexic and I liked skeleton, and I had to travel. I remember I had to travel by train, and I was waiting on the station, and there was this old elderly couple a few meters away, and I heard this lady say to her husband, like, oh, she really needs to eat more, or like something like, oh, she looks like she is very cold in the winter, like that kind of subtly opinionated remarks that people make. And family members, especially family members, would make comments like, oh, you really should eat more snacks or something. Or if you were in a birthday party, and it would be like, yeah, I was like, I don't want to eat cake, and they were like, yeah, but you need to eat cake, you need to eat something, look at you. So there will always be people commenting on that. But I want to say that if your family or friends are starting to focus so much on what you eat or what you put in your mouth, and you just see them looking at you and waiting for you to eat, that is also a breach of trust and control in the end, because basically what they try to do is control you. They feel a lack of control over you, and that comes from a good place. Obviously they want to have control over you because they think that they know better, and they want to help you, and they want to change you for the better. That is that is their good will of trying to help. nevertheless, it's not always helpful. and then I come back to the trust and the control, because eventually eating disorder is or can be used as a way to exert control or to regain control over one's life, because I can decide what I put in my mouth. In the end, like, you can put more potatoes on my plate, but I will be the one deciding what of that potato will be swallowed, or what of that potato will make it to the end of my stomach. Maybe later I will go and throw up, or I will use laxatives to rush it out of my body so that no nutrients can be absorbed. So eating disorder in that way is a way of exerting control, and not only in the way and the amount of food that I eat quantitatively, but also qualitatively. I get to choose what kind of foods I want to eat, and if people don't let me eat certain foods, I will think of a way to come up with an excuse to eat those things. So, for example, I would not say a lot, because I don't know the exact numbers, but there are instances of people with an eating disorder who also claim to have things like lactose intolerance, or what else do we, gluten intolerance, or the FODMAP diet. If you do the FODMAP diets, it's a very restrictive diet, but you can cancel out so many foods. You get control over your own diet again, because I can now decide with a good reason, because that reason was needed to get the approval of the parent or the caretaker or whatever, with a very good reason to eliminate certain foods. And apart from the quantity and the quality of the food, we can also exert control in other ways, like having a certain timetable at which we can eat or cannot eat. Like, for example, I research like what is the best time to eat, and there would be something like every 2 hours or every 3 hours or whatever, and I would use that as my guideline. Like, I cannot eat within those 2 hours. I do have to eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, then I eat at 10 o'clock, then I eat at 12, etc., etc. And I could not, for no reason, switch that. I could not eat before 8, I could not eat after 8. It had to be at 8 o'clock, and no one could take that away. It was like my way of having a certain control over my own life. A lot of control things have to do with numbers, and I think it's also related to OCD things, and perfectionism are also symptoms, I would say, of the search for control over one's own life. For example, for me, numbers were a very big deal, because counting calories is with numbers, and I was very kind of, that's perfectionism, OCD, control thing is kind of like a very complex thing that intertwines with each other. It just creates this big complex thing that's going on, it intertwines. So I cannot say it was the need for control, or it was perfectionism, or it was OCD. It's a combination of all those things. So for me, I had this eating scheme, like this timetable where when do I eat what, and what can I eat and what can I not eat, and how much do I eat. But it was very specific, like every calorie was counted in that thing, and I would literally take a scale, like a table scale, and weigh my bread, the exact amount, the gram, the weight of my bread. I would weigh that, and then I would put butter on my bread and weigh the exact amount of butter, and every step would be like that. Also not only the food but also the drinks. I would, like, for example, I had a special glass And I used always the same glass because I knew how much there was in the glass, and I would know, like, if I do it, like, fill it to this, then it's like 100 milliliters. If I fill it to this, then it's like that. And I would use that to measure and, like, exert control over how much water was going to be in my water how much water was going to be in my body. So my whole eating pattern was controlled by me eventually. I decided how much I ate, when I ate it, and what I ate. Actually, I just decided everything. And this whole food thing then took control over my life eventually, but it gave me and this is the crux, this is the very important part. It gave me the idea, the illusion that I had control over my life, and that was something that I needed very badly, because the control was taken away from me somehow. And there can be a lot of different reasons why you need or feel the need to regain control or take control if you've never had the feeling that you had control over your life. And I will do a video about other different other reasons for people to feel the need to take over their life, to regain control, and therefore maybe use an eating disorder as a coping mechanism or as a tool to regain their control. But that will be another video. But the illusion is only that, it's an illusion. And this illusion then, because we feel that we have control, which is not the case. We are being controlled by ourselves, but also actually by our fears more. Like, it's more, we are being controlled by our fears, because in the end we have created this fear for food, and maybe not every food, but or things that are tied around food, because for some people the fear is not really the food itself, but more what happens after the food is being ingested. Like, I'm fearful for maybe fat on my body, or what will happen if I eat X or Y or whatever. But there is fear, and most of the times there is fear. I cannot think of a reason that there is no fear. And if there was no fear to begin with, there will be fear eventually, because that is just how the mind works. And this fear, we will just stick with the fear around food, okay, to keep it easy and simple. But I always want you to reflect on what I say and reflect it back to yourself. Like, what is true for me? Because what I say does not necessarily have to be true for you. Or, okay, your case is individual and it's personal, and so you are the only person who knows what's going on. So always reflect upon what other people say and think, what part of this can I use? What part of this resonate with me? And what part should I just leave behind? Okay. With that being said, so this fear for food now controls our behaviors. Like, I was afraid of sugar, so I would not eat anything that contained sugar. I was afraid of stomach ache a lot, so I would eat as little as possible, because I thought if I eat more than this amount or whatever, then I will get the pain in my body. So then I would be like, okay, I can eat up to so much grams of a bread, something, and I would do that. So, and in the same time, this control over how much I ate and what I ate gave me the feeling, the illusion that I was in control of my life. But in fact, the fears were in control, because of the fears I chose to do that. And in the beginning, maybe it was not the fear. Maybe in the beginning it really was the need the unconscious need, because I don't believe anyone is consciously aware of the fact, like, no one wants to develop an eating disorder, right? Not consciously, at least. We all know that it's harmful, but still it happens. And so there is a certain reason, there is the need to have this behavior. and some of those, but in the end you will develop the fears. So, and then your control is gone because you're controlled by the fears. And if you're not controlled by the fears, then you will be controlled by other psychological things that I will discuss in the video about the reasons. So we have this fear and we have the illusion of control. And that to get that illusion of control creates a comfort zone. So we are in a comfort zone where we think we are in control of our lives, and not only in control of the food, but maybe also in control of things like emotions. Because if you've heard probably about emotional eating, right? So people will eat if they are emotional to suppress the emotions, or they will not eat because then you also kind of like, either you're like overwhelmed by the hunger cues and you don't feel anything else, or you've gone so far down the line that you've lost too much weight that your systems just shut down and you don't feel anything at all anymore. And that is what we call emotional numbness, and it is a real symptom in people with anorexia mostly. I'm not sure about the others, but any kind of trauma can cause emotional numbness, but that's another story again. So, but because negative emotions are also shut down, it is also a very safe place because you don't have to deal with those things anymore. You don't have to deal with sadness or anxiety is still there because it's more like a stress response of the body that's still active. So you're actually constantly in a stressed state, but at the same time you also don't feel emotions. So there is always the positive side of the coin and the negative side of the coin. The positive side of the coin is the illusion of being in control and the illusion of being in a good place, in the comfort zone, because you don't feel emotions, or you have a very good excuse. Your eating disorder is an excuse to not participate in certain activities that you would normally be scared of doing or would feel very stressed about doing. For example, for me, I did not have to go on my what's that called, international exchange for half a year, and because I was dreadful of that, but because I had my eating disorder, I could say, hey, I cannot do it because I have an eating disorder, and I did not have to do it. And I could say to the professor, like, oh, I have an eating disorder and I cannot concentrate very well, so I have to go home earlier, or it is too hard for me, and I could just get out of it the easy way. And usually I would not have dared to say that, even though it was still alleged, like, the real reason why I could not participate was, for example, it was just too overwhelming for people with neurodivergency or just something emotional or whatever, but that those are reasons that are not usually socially accepted reasons for skipping your responsibility or lowering someone, like taking away a part of your responsibility. But because I had an eating disorder, it was a legitimate reason to not participate. Like, I could use that as a shield for myself, so I did not have to deal with the stress or whatever. I did not have to feel guilty or ashamed of saying that I could not do it for no reason, or no socially accepted reason, because now I did have a socially accepted reason. But then again, and the other side of that coin was that I also really did not have energy to do things that I really wanted to do. I did not have to do things that I did not want to do, but I also couldn't do things that I did want to do, like meet with friends or do sports or go out with my family and take a walk in the forest. Or when it was cold, I could not go outside because I would be so cold for like very quickly, and life is so limited, so empty, so lonely, so anxious, depressing, even if you are in that state. So you have the comfort zone you've created for yourself, which is actually not really a comfortable zone to be in. But what is your alternative? And this is where I come to uncertainty, what I wanted to talk about. Yes, I know this is a long video, but I hope it's going to be helpful and insightful. I cannot make it any shorter, sorry, because then I would skip a lot of necessary knowledge, things that I have to say for it to make sense. So I hope you stick with me to the end. I'm very grateful for you to be here, and I will not waste any more time, sorry. So the uncertainty is that we know where we are right now, right? We are in control, at least we think we are in control. We are in control. We are in this comfortable area where we have the things that we did not want, they are gone, and we don't feel negativity and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, at some point in our eating disorder, we will find that it is not as comfortable as we thought it was. Because, for example, you will, if you're very skinny like me, there is a lot of problems, like a lot. Physical and emotional and mental and psychological and social and whatever. But for example, my body always hurted. Always. I could not sit because my bottom would hurt. Not only my bottom, my legs constantly felt like a sort of burning fire. Like I was looking like a matchstick, but it also felt like I was on fire all the time. Like this kind of pain. And when you're in that state, you don't really realize it is there because your body just shuts it down. Like if you're constantly in pain, it's no use for your body to like keep sending signal like I'm in pain. If you're in danger, you have to run, and pain cues are going to stop you from running. So survival mechanism in your body, it will shut it down. But when I started to recover, I started to realize like, oh, I was in so much pain all the time, and now I feel so much better. Like I don't feel anything. I can sit normally. I can stand. I can walk. I can do anything without the pain. And there's this clothes thing. Like I could not find clothes to wear, and every clothes that would fit was like very skinny jeans and skinny things that would expose my body too much, and which made me very insecure because I knew I looked like a skeleton and it was scary and I did not want to look like it. And I had so many breakdowns in like the dressing rooms in stores. Like I could not wear what I wanted to wear, and I could never look good. I just didn't want to be this person. And about talking about that, you actually lose yourself in your eating disorder because, well, your emotions are also a big part of who you are, and just your whole ability to feel things and to enjoy things and to live. It feels like you're dead. I said dead, not dead, but it feels like you are dead inside, and that you're just a walking skeleton who is dead, actually, but still walking. You don't feel anything. You only feel kind of a sort of like constant anxiety and constant stress. Like you're never comfortable, and it's more like you're on the edge of crying all the time. It's a very negative state, and I was not happy anymore. I was not myself. Like I used to be a very happy person, very funny and like always cheeky, but during that time I totally was not like that, and everything sucked, and you just cannot do anything because you don't have energy. Well, I can name a lot more things. For example, you cannot eat the things that you want, you cannot enjoy the things that other people enjoy and stuff like that, and there's a lot of medical problems. You have hair loss, your nails break, or whatever, you look weird. No, I already said that, but also just the voices in your head are they're driving you mad, and the constant focus on food, your whole identity is food, it just becomes too much, and you're more than that, okay? And I will do another video on that too, but there are a lot of things to cover here. So there is, at a certain point, you feel the need, you come to the conclusion that I want to change. I don't want to stay here. It's not what I want for the rest of my life. But at the same time, there's this fear, like, but if I am not here, then where am I? Where am I going? I don't know, because we have not been there. We have not been on the other side. We have not been on, well, we have been there before we went into the disorder. But time has passed, and as everybody knows, the body always changes. So even though you have been, like, let's say your body goes like this, but you've gone like this, and if you come back to this, you will look different. Even if you had not had your eating disorder, you will look different here from here. So you don't know where you will end. And then there's this fear, like, maybe I ruined something, maybe if I go here, then it will go to the other side, like I've been so restrictive that if I start eating, I cannot control myself anymore, and then I will, like, grow into an elephant or whatever. And yet at the same time, we can logically argue to ourselves, like, that is not true, because look at all those people around you who have recovered from an eating disorder. Do they look like elephants? No. And even if they have gained more weight than that they had before they started the eating disorder, they don't look weird. And it's not about the way you look. Like, that's the point, okay? It's not about the way you look. But still, we have those fears, and it's okay. Everyone has them, and they're legitimate. They're reasonable. They're good. They can be there. They're okay to have. I don't know how to say that in English. It's okay to have them. I'm not saying, oh, don't have them, I acknowledge them. I had them myself. Everyone has them. It's okay. It's fine. It's completely normal. In the end, it will pass. So stick with it and accept it and embrace it. But it is also a part of the control, right? Because you are in this comfort zone of control, and if you step out of there, you lose control, because you don't know what's going to happen, and basically you are going to give control to your body, and you have to trust your body. And there we are with the trust again. Yes, because you know how I told you that everybody lost trust in you, and you lost trust in the other people. Well, you've also probably lost trust in yourself, because if everyone keeps saying that you are not to be trusted, then eventually you are going to believe that. And even if people don't really say it, you will feel it. And even if let's say there's no one around you who has ever said or done anything that will make you think that they don't trust you, still, unconsciously, you are giving yourself the signal that you do not trust yourself. Why? Because you are ignoring your body's cues. In case of anorexia, or in case of binge eating or whatever, usually there's hunger cues in someone's body, right? In a healthy body, there's hunger cues. But if you want to lose weight, you're gonna tell yourself, no, I cannot eat right now. I have to lose weight, so I don't eat. And then what are you doing? You are ignoring your body's natural response, natural cue of hunger. And basically if you're doing that long enough, if you're doing that like consistently, ignoring your body's cues and ignoring, therefore, your body's needs, you're not giving your body what it needs, your body will start mistrusting you. And so there's going to be a break between the body and you as a conscious person. You do not trust your body because you're like, no, I want to lose weight. I want to be in control of the body because I don't believe that you are doing the right thing. That is what you're saying to your body. Even though maybe that was consciously not the case, but unconsciously you are doing that. You are sending the signals. And what is the body going to do if it cannot trust you anymore? Well, it's not going to listen to you. It's not going to listen to you. And so you will lose trust in your body, because what you do is not going to be what the body is going to do. Like, at some point in your weight loss journey, you will find that you can no longer lose as much weight as you want, how hard you try, however hard you try. And it will be the same for trying to gain weight again. It will at some point not do what you think it will do, because you still think, oh, I'm in control. I have calculated that if I eat 200 I just say some 200 calories less each day, then I will lose this much amount of calories, and that is kilograms, I mean, and that is exactly the method that dietitians also use, which is complete bullshit, but that's another topic for another video. You are also thinking that your body is kind of like a machine, right? You think, I'm in control of this machine, I do not trust what it does, so I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna decide how much I eat and when I eat, and I'm not listening to the hunger cues that can come at any time, not necessarily every 2 hours, but I'm gonna ignore that because I don't trust it. Then your body will go into survival mode because it's being deprived, and it will start fighting against you because now you are the threat. Actually, what is the body designed to do? To survive. And what does it do to survive? Well, it will protect itself against the threats. You know, if you're getting in a virus or something, it will start making antibodies. It start fighting that. Well, if you do not eat enough, basically you are being the cause of the problems. So it will start fighting you. Yes. So you will find that, for example, the body will do everything to hold on to your fat and your nutrition, and it will slow down your metabolism. So in order to prevent you from losing weight, and that is why you will get stuck on your weight loss game at some point, and then you will start feeling like, I cannot trust my body anymore because it's not doing what I want it to do, and I know that I've done my calculations, and if I do eat this much, I will lose this much. Or if I eat this much, I will gain this much. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. But that's not the point. The point is that you now have created this distrust between the body and you. Like, how do you call it? It's like from the two sides, both sides. Like bilateral mistrust. Relation where there's no trust between the two parties. And how can two parties that need to work together if there's no trust between them? That is really hard, and I'm gonna tell you that no good results are going to be yielded from that. So the thing is, and if you don't trust your body, but you have to and you have taken control over your body because you don't trust it, and now you have to step out of that comfort zone and hand over the control to your body again, that is extremely frightening. Because would you ever give a gun to someone that you don't trust? Like, here, you can have it. Like, maybe they will shoot you and you'll die. Yeah, no one's gonna do that no one in their right mind, at least. But still, you have to go there. And so there's this fear, but of the journey itself, and there's this fear of the unknown, like the uncertainty, right? The uncertainty is actually what comes if there's no control. If you let go of the control actually gives you certainty, right? Because I am in control, I know what will happen, because I decided what I'm doing with a very good reason, because I have this goal and I want to get there. So I know what I will get because I am in control. Now I'm not in control anymore, so I don't know what there will be, right? I cannot decide what there will be, even if I want, like, there's a lot of people that are like, okay, I will want to recover, but only until this certain amount of weight or whatever. And that it means that they still try to exert a certain amount of control over it, which does not, like, which still gives the illusion, and which not, I don't know how to say this clearly, but it will not help you get over the need for control, for the OCD and the perfectionism and whatever. And it will not help you face your fears, because the fear is making you want to exert control in the first place. And it will also therefore not allow you to reach that other comfort zone. You will still have to deal with your fears, because once you've reached that weight, what are you gonna do? Well, you will still have to be in control at that moment, because you still do not trust your body enough to be like, okay, I will now eat every time I'm hungry, because you know in your mind that if I'm gonna eat on the cues that my body give me, I will be eating too much and I will be an elephant by the end of the week. So you will still be in your eating disorder, whereas yes, it is on a higher weight, but it's still the mental thing is still going on, and it's also still affecting your physical body, because probably that weight is not your final weight. And if it was supposed to be your final weight in the end, which you have no control over, I'm going to tell you already in advance, but even if it was supposed to be your natural weight, it did not get the chance, your body did not get the chance to heal everything that was damaged inside your body. So you have to get over that weight first too. And there's another video about that as well. But so the point of this video is, first of all, educating you about what's going on with the control, the trust issues, the control, the uncertainty, which are a lot of like intertwined, and which are a fundamental thing going on in eating disorders. That is step 1, it educates you about it. And then step 2 of this video is to, I don't actually know. Step 2 is, now that you've educated yourself on what is going on, is that you are going to tackle it, right? Because you want to go to this other side of the tunnel. I see it like this: you are in a comfort zone. It's kind of like a station in a train, and maybe it's like a sort of like a subway station, like a very sketchy place, like very dark, and there's nothing in there, and it's like super old, and it's like bombed with bombs, I don't know, there's nothing in there. And there is this tunnel that the train will have to go through, and then at the end of the tunnel there's this light, and in that light, like, there's just a landscape, there's just at the end of the tunnel, you know. And there's another station in a village. It's cute, it's like there's people, and there's the sun, and there's happy, and there's flowers, and there's smells and birds singing. It's amazing, and you want to be there, but you don't know that it's there, because the only thing you see is a tunnel, a dark tunnel, and a white light at the end of it. Maybe you don't even see it. So yeah, you're gonna step on the train and you'll be like, yeah, I have no idea where I am, you know. It's very uncertain, and uncertainty is scary. But still, you have to try. Like, you have a choice to make, yeah? You're on the station and there is a train, and you're like, your choice is, do I get on the train or do I stay here? You can make that choice every moment. And I can tell you that it is scary to get in the train and not know where you go. But it's part of your recovery journey. And it is difficult, okay? Because there are so many things going on: the uncertainty, the anxiety, the perfectionism, the control, and a lot more things. And it also differs per person, obviously. But the most important thing is that you have to face your fears to get over them. And how cheesy as it might sound, it is true. As long as the more you expose yourself to your fear, the more you get accustomed to it. But it also has to be done with strong mental training, because fears are mental, okay? They are mental. My God, why do I keep touching? So you have to also battle mentally. That's why eating disorder recovery is not only physical recovery of weight, which is still very much focused on control. I'd rather have you start not focus on your weight, but more on your mental well-being. So that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that you should not eat. That's not what I'm saying. I will have another video on this topic. But the first thing is that uncertainty, and a big deal in uncertainty is also, what is my body going to look like? And that is then again related to the trust in your body. At some point, you will have to hand over the trust and the control to your body. And it will be freeing, I will tell you that, but also scary. And it's scary because you do not trust your body. So what do you have to do to get out of this a downward circle, this downward spiral? You have to train yourself to start trusting your body again, to start trusting yourself again. And yes, everyone is telling you you're not trustworthy, but you are in the end. Why? Because the body is designed to always go to strive for the best thing for the body, right? How are you going to survive in a world if the body is working against you? That's not possible. Why are humans still on Earth? Because the body is created to function in a way that it will always strive for the best of the body. So you cannot have a body that will do something for you that is going to make you suffer. Yes, obviously there are people that have defects, like genetical defects or whatever, but in general, a healthy body will not do that, okay? Your healthy body will always strive for the best, will always do what's best for you. And you have to start trusting that again. But you are not trusting yourself at this moment. You are not trusting the cues in your body either. So, and because you do not trust the body does not trust you. And the body may even have shut down the hunger cues because of several reasons. But you have to learn to trust your body. Your body has to learn to trust you again. But the body cannot learn without experience. You can learn without experience. You can talk to yourself. Yes, experience will help into believing. But if you start telling yourself at least that, okay, I can trust my body will always do what's good for me. And you can create this mantra for yourself. Whenever you eat or whatever, that you tell yourself, this food is good for me. My body will do what's good for me with this food. I give my body energy so that my body can do what's good for me. That way, you will slowly regain your trust in your body first. And then you will see that slowly your body will also start trusting you, and you will see the results in that, because your body does indeed do what's good for you. And once you recognize that result, this will strengthen your belief in yourself, and that then you will turn this spiral around into an upward spiral, because we see the results, then we start believing it more, and we start to tell ourselves more oh yes, I actually can believe myself, and that your body will respond to that again, and so it will be a positive spiral. That, and loss of control. Yes, you can let go of control. This is also you not only trusting your body, but also trusting other people, trusting the universe even. Find something that you can give your trust to. It really helps replace trust with faith, because that is eventually like replace trust with, no, I mean sorry, replace control with faith. Oh my god, I can't speak. Replace control with faith. Control is very tiring. Control sucks the vital energies out of your body, because you're constantly running things in your mind like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do it like this, I have to do it like that. You know, you're constantly trying to be in charge, and your mind is constantly running. It is very tiring, and it also creates a lot of fear, because what if I cannot be in control? Then I will panic, panic attacks come as well. But on the other hand is when I have faith. Faith means that I do not need to be in control, yet I feel calm. I do not panic because I don't have control. No, because I have faith. I have faith that it will be all right. I have trust in myself for a start. I have trust in myself that I can survive in any situation, and I am well equipped, and that my body will also do whatever is good for me. And it doesn't matter what kind of situation. It can also be in a social situation, that I don't have to plan ahead every conversation that I have with everyone and every step I set and take from the train to the post office or whatever. I don't have to do that, because I can have faith in myself that I am capable of navigating those situations without planning them ahead. It's all about that kind of trust, and also faith in yourself. But you can also find faith in external things, like people who have a religion can have faith in a God, and a God that will be, God is always good, right? God will always try to help you. You can talk to the God, you can pray to the God. Basically what you do is you gave your control away to an external thing and say, I have faith in you to take care of that very tiring thing of managing every single detail of my life, so that I can be free to do what I want to do and to breathe for a moment, to just have a mind that is empty and just relax without constantly being worried about everything, right? That is a thing that can help as well. For me personally, it really helped to read the book about Taoism. Taoism is the philosophy about be water, like be like water, but there's a lot of different other things, very valuable information in the book. I really recommend it to you. But another book was The Artist's Way. Those two combined, I read them at the same time, and The Artist's Way was talking about, if you want to be creative, you also have to let go of control, right? You have to have faith in some kind of creative spirit that is feeding you with energy to be creative, feeding you with creative ideas, and let go of the control, because the control is blocking your view. It's like making you narrow-minded. And so the author of this book was talking about have this kind of like, create this kind of religion for yourself, this deity, is it called deity? Like a god. It does not necessarily have to be God or any other kind of god, like another kind of divine entity. It can also just be anything that feels comfortable for you to have as a picture of an image of something external, something bigger, something that you can give the control to and that you can have faith in. For me, it was just the natural force, like nature, just what we call nature. Like everyone has nature in themselves. Like, why are you alive? That thing that drives you, and everything else, like what created the universe. People can also call it the universe with a capital letter or not. Just anything that feels for you. I can say to myself, like, I trust the universe that good things will happen to me. And that is things that people use in positive affirmations and manifesting. And yes, you can use it as a tool to rewire your brain, to learn to trust more and let go of control and face the uncertainty, because uncertainty is not necessarily something bad, because we don't know what will happen. It can also be something good that will happen, but we just don't know, and that is what uncertainty is. You don't know what will happen, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. And if we have faith that it will be good, if we have faith, it means that we can go through that process of uncertainty without being stressed. We are calm because we have faith that it will be all right. And yes, it takes time for that to practice, but it's not impossible. And it's actually pretty easy. You don't have to do a lot of things. You don't need a lot of energy. No, you just put on some playlist for positive affirmations that might help with you. But the best thing is to create your own affirmations or mantra or whatever you want. There's another YouTube video that helped me back then about, I don't know what it was called exactly, but I think it was also about mantras. I think if you look for eating disorder mantras, you will find it, I hope. But it helps to create a mantra while eating that is positive, like with trust and faith in your body and in maybe something else, but also so that you can re-establish a good relationship with yourself, regain trust in yourself, which is very important. That will help with letting go of the control over your body, and also have a mantra or find faith in something. That a mantra about faith is also really good. I trust that the universe will do what's best for me. I trust that my body will do what's best for me, etc., etc. It will help you to face that uncertainty, and it will help you start embarking your journey towards the other end of the tunnel, which is actually another comfort zone. But you will only discover it once you try. And the last thing I want to say about this is that you can always choose to go back to your other comfort zone, okay? If you do not like what was on the other side of the tunnel, if you don't like the village, you can always go back. There's always a train that goes back. But then at least you know what is there, so you can make a decision that is rational, because now you only have seen this one side. And if you're gonna say like, I like this side better than that side, like what's the reason? You've never been there, so you cannot say like, I know I feel this is better. No. So if you go there and check it out and you think, okay, yeah, now I've seen both of them and I really do not like this one, then you can always go back to this one, okay? But at least try and know that there is a lot of things that you will have to face along the way, but there is a lot of people that can help you here on the internet. And you can do it. Everyone can do it. You just have to trust yourself. Okay, thank you so much for listening and watching maybe all the way to the end. I hope it was helpful. There will be more videos about this topic because, as you can see, it's a pretty complex, long topic. Yeah. Okay, take care of yourself. You can do it. Have faith in something, but most importantly in yourself. Okay, I have faith in you. You can do it.